There we go. What's up, guys? Sound coming through all right? What's up, Doug? Probably a little slow tonight on the video, I can tell you. What's up, Marcia? Guess you're ready for your big party, huh, Aaron? What's up, Steve? Guys, give me Instagram out. See if that's all right. Let's see if that helps it out a little bit there. Jason Beck in the house. How's it going, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Mr. Sean Murphy. What's up, David? Chris Norris in the house. Jason Beck, congratulations on your sponsorship. Seeing last week or maybe the week before. That's pretty cool, dude. Yes, definitely, Doug. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, guys. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm sure you've been busy, dude. Let's see what else we got in here today. Now, Jason, I think if I remember correctly, I talked to you before. You're up north, correct? I think around New York area, or maybe no, New Jersey, I think, right? New Jersey. That's what I thought. So I guess it's starting to. You probably getting into the fall season up there pretty quick. Then I would imagine. A lot quicker than we are here in the Midwest. So, guys, I will tell you right off the bat, had a tournament Saturday at a lake pretty close to me here. It's a lot of clear water, and I tell you what, it was an extremely tough bite. It's the first tournament that I went to in I don't know how many years that I never even put a dink in the boat. I mean, it was that bad. Had bites. I probably set the hook 40 times, but nothing there. They were just come back. I'd have claws missing or something missing. Threw the swim jig a bunch. They were biting of it. That was it. They just would not take the bait. My partner, he's a real good fisherman too. He had one fish. I think it was 12 and a half, maybe 13 inches. And that was the only fish we had. It was terrible. So around 68 yesterday. Dang, that's pretty good and chilly. You guys should be in the full swing of fall there. I would imagine they'd be schooling up. It's going to be the TS the next couple of days here in the upstate New York. I have a tournament on Chesapeake Bay on the 22nd for Bass Nation. That's cool. Good luck, man. Hope you do good. Yeah, Doug, that was pretty painful to go through 8 hours of. That's the first time I've had that bad of luck in a tournament in a couple of years. Mr. Jacob Codwell, hey, how's it going, man? It's all right, no big deal. Sean's in the 80s. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a little heat advisory here. Actually, it's supposed to be in the mid 90s, I think, all week long. But the heat index is chilly. Fall transition is coming. Yeah, it's Jason. I hope for that here. That's my favorite time to fish. Is usually around October to November when them bait schools start schooling up really good, and then bass come in. They start schooling up. Man, that's a blast sometimes. Especially I throw that double fluke rig a lot. That's usually a lot of fun. I've got at a local lake here. I've got stripers in it, and they get up there and schooling, and their schools are huge. I mean, they're the size of a car out there, and you can throw that fluke in there, and as soon as you see a silver side turn up, you're on. And you can go out there and catch 3 to 5 pound stripers, for a couple hours straight, enough to wear your arm out. Again, yes, it's going to get chilly. Fall transition is coming. Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Oh, what's going on, Greg? Nice to have you, man. Yeah, I wanted to stay on Tackle Junkies live stream last night a little. I tell you what, this week has just been nonstop. I ended up missing 2 videos this week, and I actually talked to Tackle Junkie. He told me that I could upload more than one at a time. I didn't know that on YouTube. So after knowing that, I'm gonna start stocking up on some videos. So that should never happen again. So getting up in the low 90s a couple days this week. Doug, are you the one from Indiana? I think you and Chris North both were, I think, Indiana, I thought. Right now, the shad fry are heading back down to the Delaware River. Smallmouth are blasting the snot out of them. Yeah, man, I tell you what, that'd be fun to go hammer up a couple smallmouth up there. I return this Saturday, little chance of rain. I tell you what, man, I was hoping it would rain Saturday, but it just never. It was clear, sunny skies the entire day. I think it was supposed to be like a high of 83, and I think it ended up getting in about 93, though. Jacob says, mine has 2 because it's the 3rd week of school. Yeah. Fished Erie, Pennsylvania Friday and Saturday. Bite was real tough. Got a couple each day, but it was work. Water's still 73. Yeah, I tell you what, around here, when it starts getting down in the 70s around here, that's usually when they start schooling up pretty good. Like I said, I think our water temperatures around here range anywhere from about, I don't know, 83 to probably 83 to 89. But as soon as you start getting down in the 70s, you start seeing them bass moving quite a bit. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, okay. So I think there's 3 of you from Indiana. Or no. Sorry, I see it now. Chris is Oklahoma. That's right. It's hard to keep up with all you guys. Of course, I'd like to go out to Oklahoma and do some fishing. I was out there I guess it was late last year. I went out there to it was right by, I think, Cherokee, or not Cherokee, one of the lakes out there. I'm not sure which one it was, but it was pretty close to Tulsa. Went out there for work. I didn't get a chance to go fishing or nothing though. Let's see, XJ in the house. How's it going, man? We didn't get really a fall transition down here in the South Florida. It kind of sucks because it's like summer all year. Summer time is tough here. Yeah, you guys complain about not having that transition, but man, you guys got fishing all year long there. We usually got a few months here that are not all of our lakes, but most of them, they get pretty frozen. You can't really get out on them. Oh, let's see. Come on over, just bring the boat. Yeah, man. I tell you what, my mom actually lives up in West Virginia. She lives it's about 5 minutes from Pennsylvania, or 5 minutes from Maryland, and 15 minutes from Pennsylvania. So she's been trying to get me to come up there too and visit. And my grandpa's wanting me to take him fishing up there. We got a small lake. I fished maybe 2 or 3 times up there. I think it's called Rocky Gap. It wasn't a very big lake, but it's a pretty nice little lake. I fished it a couple times. I fished Clear Lake in North Indiana. What was he talking about? Huddleston bite last night. Ooh, the Huddleston. Everybody's getting in the winter bites already. Dang. Water was in the mid 60s yesterday in the end. It was 69 by 4 p.m. Man, Sean, you're in the golden temps right there. That's probably some of my favorite times there. All-Star in the house, huh, Jacob? Are you still preaching about them All-Star rods? I don't drink enough to ice fish. I hear you, man. I can't bring myself to do it. I've got a buddy of mine, his dad, he loves going ice fishing on ponds around here. It's not every couple of years they get frozen enough that you can do that, but they do it. And I tell you what, they absolutely slaughter bluegill doing that. It's amazing. I just never got into it. Let's see, welcome. Hey, what's going on, Hank? So now that Greg Thomas brought up the Huddleston, big Huddleston, or any of them. I know it's kind of a bait that was blown up about 2 or 3 years ago when Tactical Bassin put it out, but it's actually a really, really good bait. Just ended up chasing trout in our rivers during the river. Yeah. Now, Jason, I'm guessing you probably have brown trout up there, I guess. I'm not a big trout guy. We've got rainbow trout in a couple streams around here that they stock, but just not much into fishing that. No phone call. All-star. Oh, all-star call deal. That's good, Jacob. That's cool. Someone on Tackle Junkie's channel was talking about a recent HUD bite last week in Northeast Indiana last week. The guy got 27 bass. Biggest was 8+ pounds. Man, Greg, that's a huge bass for Indiana. I think it's enormous. Holy cow. I threw them last winter, still looking for my first HUD fish. More rainbows, but we get a mix of browns and brooks. That's cool. Yeah, that Huddleston is it's pricey. I know Sean Murphy and I were talking, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. I think he had found that Huddleston, the 68 special, which is the one I've got too. And it was only like $25, which is pretty cheap. And if you guys don't know and you haven't ever felt one, those Huddlestons, I mean, Bass Pro had brought out a brand. I can't think of the name of it. It was just their cheap version of a Huddleston. I can tell you, I bought like 3 or 4 of them because I had got wind that they were going to pull it off the shelves because they were getting in trouble for reproducing them. And I'm telling you guys, it was a waste of money. They don't swim the same. They're not as soft. A true Huddleston, if you feel that thing in your hands, it's like no other plastic. I mean, it is really, really soft. It's got that real texture to it. It's really nice, and they swim really, really good. But they're made to swim because of that big boot tail. They're made to swim in that cold water and actually still have actions going through there. You take a regular swim bait or anything like that out there in that cold water and that plastic gets cold, and it don't swim right. It don't come back and forth good on a slow retrieve. So that's what those Huddlestons are made for. They work really, really well. Interesting fact, Indiana has the biggest state record bass in Midwest, 14+ pounds, too many years ago in the Hoosier National Forest. Man, I'm not saying there's not big bass over there, Greg. I just never knew there was that many caught over there that were 8+ pounds. I mean, you guys are almost neighboring states to us, and we don't see too many of them like that. I mean, you hear about them caught all the time, but, it's not a common thing by any means. Need to be dedicated to throw those big glide baits all day. I need to try this. David, I'm telling you, that is one bait, or baits, I should say, that you definitely have to have the right setup for, or you are going to wear yourself out. When I first got my Huddleston, I was trying to whip that thing out there. Your shoulder would get wore out really quick. I mean, just kind of loft those things. Don't try to whip them out there. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Hey, you guys need to listen there and hit that like button, people. So what do you think about the jackhammer since everyone's been talking about it? Jacob, I haven't thrown the jackhammer. I'll be honest with you. You can ask a lot of guys in here that have talked to me. I am not a big chatterbait fan. It's not that they don't work. I don't like throwing them that much. If I'm going to throw something like that, I'll go with the spinner bait. If I'm getting into grass, it's a little heavy or something like that, I'm going to throw the swim jig. I'm not a big chatterbait guy. And the jackhammers, I mean, it's a chatterbait. It's a vibrating jig. So I'm just not big into them. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not saying that at all. I personally don't care for throwing them that much. Let's see, Doug. Wish it was me catching all those. Heck, even just 8+ pounder. Doug, I'd love to catch an 8-pounder. I have not hit the 8-pound mark yet. I caught one this year. It was 7.25. It was the first tournament of the year I caught it, and I've got one that probably right at that, maybe a little bit smaller, but then a couple 6s. But I haven't quite hit the 8-pound mark yet. Jason says those big swim baits here are destroyed by muskies, and that's about it. Yeah, Jason, one of my favorite lakes I fish is just over in Illinois. It's got muskie in it, and I do not throw that over there. I don't throw my. I'm not losing anymore. Those muskie kill those things over there. David says throw a spinner bait. Yep. I catch as many regular. Oh, I catch as many with the regular than the jackhammer. Yeah, when that jackhammer first came out, everybody was just blowing up on it and talking about how good it was, how much better, and this and that. And I heard the price on it, and it was outrageous. And the more people I hear talking about it now are less impressed with it, and I don't think it's as big of hype anymore. Wish I had the money for the swim bait, glide bait, and gear. Yeah, Doug, that's an expensive game to get into. Back when I used to watch Tactical Bassin a lot, that's kind of what got me tuned into those guys was fishing bigger swim baits because around here I didn't have much experience fishing in the winter, and I started watching them guys and really trying a lot of that stuff. And I didn't go out, I didn't buy all the expensive gear. I kind of used what I had. Um, for the bigger swim baits, I was using my frog rod or my punching rod for those, but I was so scared to death of throwing that thing and snapping the line on it. But after you get used to it and learn how to throw it, it's not too bad. I usually throw mine on like 20-pound fluorocarbon, and I don't have too many worries with it then. So I totally understand. I like spinner baits, but it's just too the perfect personal preference for guys. Yeah, Jacobs. I mean, it's like I said, it's a personal preference for whoever. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of them, but that doesn't mean anything. Backyard, you watch Alex Rudd had a great discussion about what do bass eat, rats, birds, eels, etc. Pretty cool talking point. Yeah, definitely. I used to watch Alex Rudd. I say I used to. I haven't watched him in about probably 2 months. And there's nothing wrong with the guy. I have nothing against him at all. But just like him and many, many, many others, they all got on this kick of doing this kayak. I mean, everybody's wanting to get in a kayak, and it's a fad going through. I mean, it's not like it's anything new. It's been out there. But that kayak thing is just blown up, and everybody's doing tournaments of kayak and this and that. And I have nothing against it. It's fine. But I look at it as the same thing as a lot of other YouTubers do. They follow these fads, and that's what gets their channel growing and everything, and that's great. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to sit there and follow and all these big deals going on about the challenges, going to Walmart and spending $20 and catch fish with this, or doing the Barbie pole. There's all kinds of them out there, and I'm just not going to do it. I've got better things to do with my time, and I'm just not going to mess with it. But like I said, I have nothing against those guys that are doing great on their channels. So that's just my opinion. But let's see, Aaron. To each their own. Each company has a version of each and every bait. Personal preference, I say. Yeah, definitely, Aaron. It's I've got a video it's going to be uploading tomorrow morning on swim jigs, and I mean, Aaron can probably tell you, and Sean Murphy on here can probably tell you, I am a huge supporter of 6th Sense swim jig. I love that jig. But Sean Murphy had sent me one last week, I guess it was, and I've been fishing that thing, and I'm telling you guys right now, I'm extremely impressed, and you'll see it in the video tomorrow. It's pretty cool. I want to watch out for that one. So, Chris Norris, I'm with TJ81. I like the Picasso shock blade. Chris, I'll be honest with you, I haven't. TJ's tried to get me to try some of the Picasso stuff. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't. Usually in the fall and winter, I'll kind of restock a few things here and there. And Picasso is definitely on my list to look at. I did look up a lot of their stuff. He was telling me, with my tungsten weights, I told you guys before I signed up with Titan Tungsten a little bit, to get the discount. I don't promote them. I really don't. It's a great tungsten weight, but I mainly did it because of the discount. Tungsten is highly expensive, but with TJ81 telling me about the other ones, they've got that gunmetal coating to them, and they don't flake off or nothing. So I'm definitely probably going to look into getting those. Also, their spinner baits, he was telling me, was a little bit lighter wire, comes through a little bit better through brush and stuff like that. So I may try that out. And the reason I will try that out is spinner baits, in my opinion, aren't good brand new out of the box or the package, whatever you want to call it. Spinner baits get good after they've caught a couple fish, and you start bending. Actually, let me look here. I may have one in here. I got an older one in here. But anyway, if you guys see that wire there, once this wire starts getting bent out a couple different times, The more bites you get on that thing and that starts wearing down, that gets real flimsy, the better they swim, the better reaction you get out of them. I seem to catch more fish on a broke down spinnerbait than I do a brand new one any day of the year. So with Tackle Junkie telling me that they're a little bit lighter wire, that kind of makes me think that they're probably going to be a little bit more like a broken spinnerbait. So I'm definitely up for trying that. Let's see. Greg says, I grew up in Florida and the spinnerbait was the deal down there. I cannot catch bass, and in the end, on the spinnerbait to save my life. I do well on the bladed jig here. Going to throw a spinnerbait this year. Greg, I will tell you the one thing that I've kind of noticed on spinnerbaits. It depends on where you're fishing. A lot of times, what it is there's so many people out there that throw so many spinnerbaits, and the bass see them day in and day out, and they just don't react with them. Get you something that's just an off the wall color and try it sometime. I know that sounds really crazy, but I'm telling you, man, that works. My pond here in my backyard has seen, and I've told everybody, it has seen every lure that I own, every lure that my buddies have owned. My fish are incredibly smart, and they know when something's coming through, they're gonna take a look at it, a long, hard look before they go after it, because they've seen everything. But you can go down there with some off the wall lure. Actually, my son was throwing. I don't even remember the name of it. It was some just a really funky looking little spinnerbait or crankbait. It was something he got in a box. It was something I'd never seen or even heard of. And he went down there and he was catching fish like it was nothing. So, it's just that off the wall color. That's something different. It's worth trying sometimes. Sean Murphy, please don't do the. Oh, hang on. Let me go back up here. Let's get back up here. Please don't do the Walmart challenges. I will unsubscribe. Sean, you've got no worries. I'm not doing them. Jason Beck. Co-angler on the bass boats and yak fishing other tourneys. I'd rather watch stuff to learn. I hate those challenge videos unless it's a slam for monster bass. Yeah, dude, I don't mind the box slams at all. That's actually something I really enjoy watching because they're going out. It's something they haven't really thrown most of the time, or it's a new bait. That's when I really like it. It's something new. Like you've got, let's say, these secondary companies out there putting out baits, trying to get their name out there. They put out those baits that nobody's seen, and those guys go out there and try to catch fish on them and try to work them different ways and maybe use them as trailers or, try to figure out how they work the best. I really enjoy them videos, and you can learn a lot from that. So hopefully later on, maybe I'll get linked up with some of the one of the boxers or something and maybe start doing that. I'd love to do that on just a monthly review on, doing a slam or going through each bait, maybe fishing for a week or two and just explain everything I know or everything I can figure out with them. I think it'd be pretty neat. So, see, Greg says 6th Sense is the best swim jig ever. Dirty Jigs number 2. Greg, I'm almost completely 100% in agreement with you until I threw this other jig. I'm telling you guys, wait till you see it tomorrow. I fell in love with it. So Jason Beck says, love 6th Sense, but love my Strike King stuff. Yeah, Jason, like I said, I'm a big Sixth Sense fan, but I don't know. It's this other one, like I said, you'll see it in the video tomorrow when it drops. So Jason Beck, I was Titan, but they were always out of stock on my stuff and just ordered through Woo. Yeah, Jason, I haven't tried Woo Tungsten yet. I have heard nothing but good stuff with them, though. That's for sure. David says, Dirty Jigs, Finesse Swim Jig. Love it. Zoom. Oh, the Fluke trailer. Yeah. Now, do you guys, I've thrown the Fluke trailer a lot. Another one is the Kitech, the 3.5 or 3.8. I use that a lot. I cut the nose off of it a lot of times. Even the Rage Swimmers do good. But I will say the Exo Swim has been a pretty dang good one for a trailer. And then the other one was one Sean Murphy sent me. It was a yum bait. Sean, if you're watching that, I forgot the name of it. It's a little swim bait, but man, I tell you what, I was really impressed with that. The color of it was really nice. It came through the water. It worked great for a trailer. I really, really, really enjoyed that one. Let's see. Buzz baits get better with time as well. Yeah, definitely, Greg. That's, like I said, it's something to do with that wire. Once it wears down a little bit and gets crunched a couple of times, it seems like when it's coming through the water, there's, it's kind of like pulling a stick through the water. It just wants to go one way. But if you get like let's say a rope or something that's limp, it just kind of works its way through the water with no, no resistance there. I just think it works a lot better. Aaron says 6 cents hybrid jig, ½ ounce, good to go. Yep, definitely, Aaron. You've seen me throw plenty of those. All right, let's see. Find out where I was at here. All right. I use the Swagger Tackle Tungsten. Their Vader series does not flake off. Yeah, Chris, I've actually heard of that too. Like I said, that's for the price of tungsten, man, you shouldn't have to repaint those things. They are expensive. All right, what brand of weight spinnerbait do you throw in the water? I'm going to try slow rolling some ledges this winter. Honest, Greg, the main one I use is Strike King. Actually, that spinnerbait that I just had out a while ago. This is a summer bait right here. And I will tell you, this is the one time a year that I absolutely love having that trailer hook. And the reason I say that is the winter bite, if you're not used to it, is usually very, very subtle. Those fish are not into moving real often. When they come up, they just kind of come up and they just slowly mouth on it. And most of the time you won't even hear them. You won't even feel them. So it's a real slow bite. You kind of be ready for them. It's one of the things when people say, fish don't have hands. If you feel something swing, that's exactly what you have to do. And I think the two main ones I use are probably the Strike King, or I should say three. I use the Strike King, the Booyah, and the War Eagles are another one that I really like. Like David said, yep, War Eagles. Yep, definitely. Greg, most of my bass are called the spinner baits, mainly use a small single blade spinner bait. Yep. I will say I use the double willow blades pretty much all year long except for winter. That's when I use that bigger Colorado blade for the thump. War Eagle makes some of the best running spinner baits out there out of the box. Absolutely, 10 Horse Monty. Good to have you in here, man. 3/8 mostly, ½ ounce when slow rolling. Yep. So that I use buzzbaits for car antenna for a month before using them to get them squeaky. You will love the monster bass. Hit me up when you're ready. I have a $10 code to get it off. Jason, I'll be honest with you. I actually had the owner contact me last week. We just couldn't come with an agreement on everything, so we'll kind of see where that goes. Let's see here. It's funny. I remember reading that. Oh. Have you tried the 6 cent soft plastics? No, I have not tried into 6 cent soft plastics yet. But I will. What I will tell you, I did try the Googan. I think it's called the Googan Recon. I think is the name of the crankbait. I thought it. Let me look. I might have the box here. Hang on. All right. Let's see if I can find it here. But I wanted to kind of go over this tonight and talk about this bait. Actually, it's supposed to dive down 15, 20 foot. But I will tell you, all right, guys. So this is the Googan, the Recon. You see it there. It's like I said, it's supposed to be a 15 to 20 foot deep diving crankbait. I will tell you, it's got the tipped in hooks. I like that. The profile and it looks nice. I mean, the colors are great. It does throw very, very, very well. The weight transfer in there throws very well. I could not get this thing to hold down at 20 foot whatsoever. I was at 19 foot for probably 60 yards on a ledge. I couldn't even get it and keep it there. I was throwing it on 15-pound fluoro. If I went to 12-pound, I could probably keep it there at the 19, maybe the 20. I mean, that's a pretty iffy deal. But I'm not going to throw 12-pound line on a 1 ounce crankbait at 20 foot deep. I'm just not going to do it. You're going to end up losing stuff left and right doing that stuff. If you're comfortable with it, I mean, more power to you. I'm not going to do it. Not for the price of these things. They're expensive. So I typically stick with about 15-pound fluorocarbon when I'm throwing. I will say that I would be comfortable saying that is more of a, let's say, probably a 14 to 16 foot crankbait is where I would put that at. Like I said, I didn't catch any fish on it, but I mean, it did swim very well. The action was great. Had good rattles in it. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it does pretty well. Like I said, I was pretty impressed with it, but like I said, just not with the depth. And like I said, the depth is a big deal to me. There's a lot of crankbaits out there that say, oh, these are going to go 25 foot, and you get them out there and you're lucky to get 12 foot out of them. So, just keep that in mind when you're searching through that stuff, kind of do some reviews on them. That's a big thing when Strike King came out with the 6XDs and 10XDs, stuff like that. So let's see, let's catch back up here. All right. Oh, and let's see, the Yum Pulse. That may have been it. Yes, that's Sean got it there. Yeah, the Yum Pulse. Yeah, that thing I was pretty impressed with. Greg says, I like the 4-point attack on the 1/2 ounce and 4.3 on the 3/8. Larger size makes the whole jig shimmy. Yeah. I would. I was actually fishing, like I said, tomorrow morning when you guys see the upload for that swim jig. That is one thing with that jig, and you know what? Actually, I think about it. I didn't mention it in there, but the jig that I'm going to tell you about and talk about tomorrow has actually got a lot of rollback. It rolls back and forth. And I tell you what, it is a phenomenal retrieve coming back. So Reaction Innovation Skinny Dipper is a great spinner bait and swim bait trailer. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of guys that use those too. It's become pretty popular over the last couple of years. Let's see. Yum Pulse, they're not great as a standalone swim bait. Bait swim widest trailer. Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that, Sean. I lost 2 jigs when I was black and blue, and the other one was watermelon, and they both caught me plenty of fish. I got them, and they only last about a week. What kind of jigs were they? I mean, they should last a little longer than that. And they're $3 point right there. Looking at the Rage Swimmer, the Kitex, what were the other ones out? There was another one too. It was just, all of them were the exact same. But yeah, they're about $6, $7. So for $3, you can't complain about those. What's up, Steve? Let's see. Love 6-cent swim jig. Everything else, Buckeye ball out jig. Yeah, like I said, I'm a big 6 cents guy, so I can't say anything bad about them. I'll try to make it up next week and sit down with you again. Definitely, man. I was actually going to text you, but I was telling these guys earlier, we have had this last week. I am glad it's over with. That was it was a bad week. We'll just say that it was busy. So, all right, let's see. That would be great. 10 horse. Yeah, see, 10 horse. They like having you on here, man. It's nice having 2 guys and getting 2 different opinions, because we do fish a lot of the same lakes, but Gabe's fishing style is a little bit different than my style, and it's nice to go back and forth and kind of hear each other's thoughts too. You learn a lot, like I said from the get-go. When I first got into tournament fishing, the best thing I ever did was not fish with the same guy. I just constantly, moved around with different guys and learned different ways. There's a lot of guys in my club that don't ever throw crankbaits, and then there's a couple that do. So I'd go with them and start learning how to throw crankbaits. And these guys were big in, Texas rigs or whatever, and it really, really helps out and makes you broaden out a little bit and kind of learn everything. Makes a big difference. So what were some of the baits you were using in the tournament Saturday? We started off, my partner was throwing a spook. I was throwing the S-Waver. We weren't getting anything on either one of them. I started with a swim jig for a little bit because I could see the bait fish kind of flickering up there a little bit back and forth, and they weren't hitting top water. We weren't seeing anything busting really. So I got a couple hits on the swim jig, and they were just grabbing the tail of it and ripping it off. And then after that, we didn't have anything for a while. We finally got around some drop-offs on some points, threw a jig. Actually, one was the Trashmaster jig. I did throw that. I didn't have any bites on it, though, really. But then we went to a Texas rig. I went down to a little less action of a I went with the Missile D-Bomb, and I was getting bit, but every time I'd set a hook, I'd come back, and like I said, my pinchers were gone or my claws were gone. You know, they never actually take the entire bait. And it was not a very, very good tournament. And across the board, talking to the other guys, a lot of them had the same exact issue. Some guys were catching small ones. They were just little bitty ones. A couple guys actually caught fish and, did pretty good. But, one of the guys that was winning, his partner said, he just threw top water and was blowing up on them and catching left and right, no problem. But I mean, they had a decent bag, but it wasn't nothing great. Yeah, Dominic, you're a little bit late. That's all right, though, man. All right, Chris Norris Booty, I just came out with the Jason Christie covered sear bait. Got a couple of them, haven't fished them yet. Know a couple of people say they're really good. I might have to look at them. I didn't even see those yet. Yeah, but a lot of crankbaits don't hit advertising death. No, they sure don't. And like I said, that one there, I'm perfectly happy with. That's part of fishing crankbaits, though. I mean, you're going to go out and you just got to figure out what depth they're going to hit and what they hit comfortably with what you're throwing. So I have no problems being, that not hitting the 20-foot mark. It's fine. I'll put it in my box as a 16-foot, crankbait, and it'll do fine for that. Work great. Jacob Cobble says they were both Booyah and Strike King, and you only got a week out of them. That's pretty bad. I fish baits like that, for a year or two, and never have that problem out of them. It's a blast. I'll try to make it happen. Definitely, man. See if we can get you up here. This winter, I'll start building up on some more 6th Sense. Jason, like I said, make sure you check out my video I'm going to upload in the morning. That other swim jig, it's pretty nice. I think you'll be pretty impressed with it. The Terminator spinnerbait had that weird wire that never bent. Yeah, there was a couple of them that come out like that, And like I said, for spinnerbaits, I want something that's kind of broke down, and I don't have to worry about, necessarily the wire coming apart, but I just want it broke down enough to where it squishes pretty easy. Like I said, I think that's when they do their best. Oh, you got them hung up, Jacob. I see. Okay. Well, that's not good, dude. Nobody likes losing tackle, but trust me, I do it every time I go fishing. I'm pretty sure. So there was one other thing I was going to talk about tonight too. Was Thursday I'll have out a video on the new SLX rod. I did buy an SLX rod and tried it out. I did a video just on my first impression. It's not a full review or nothing like that. It's just my first impression of that rod and kind of going over that a little bit. Untackle Junkie is in the house. What's up, man? And if any of you guys are not subscribed to his channel, definitely make sure you go over and subscribe to his channel. That's a great dude. What is the best size trailer hook to use on the 1/2 ounce spinnerbait? I usually use I think mine are the 3/0 is what I normally typically use. Actually, hang on. Yeah, that is the 3/0. This is the let me think here. I think these are the ones I bought from Bass Pro. They were just a normal trailer hook. I don't get into big expensive trailer hooks. I don't throw them that often, like I said, but when I do, I mean, I don't go real expensive. I just make sure it's not a real light wire hook or something like that. I want something pretty sturdy that I use back there, but it's usually a 3/0 or 4/0. 10 Horse says 2/0. Yep. Taco Junkie in the house. Wow. Mr. Dalton Brewer finally got this channel figured out. Good deal, man. Good to have you on here. Should you use should you use a trailer hook? Jacob, the only time, like I was saying earlier, when I use that 3-aught trailer hook, it's usually in the winter. Like I said, when I'm fishing a bigger spinner bait like that, usually a 3/4 ounce is what I typically use in there. The reason I use the 3-aught on there, it's almost the same size hook as what's on the front of it too. I definitely don't want to go any smaller than that, but if you're going to hook up, and like I said, if you're fishing in the winter, you're usually fishing for that one bite during the day, and it's I don't want that thing getting off. So that's just where I stand on it. What Power of the Action SLX did you get? I got the medium heavy, and actually I was telling them guys, Tackle Junkie, I'm doing a video. I did it tonight, so it'll be a rod. I'm not a big medium heavy guy, so just kind of put that out there. I meant to say Oh, yeah, Jacob, you up here making? I thought you were making fun of Tackle Junkie, calling him Tackle Junkie. If you're missing a lot of fish, use a trailer, but otherwise, no. Yeah, definitely. That's like I said. I hardly ever use a trailer. I have, like I said, on that spinnerbait fishing in the winter, and then I have one buzz bait that I use a trailer on, but that's typically because I'm using a frog on the end of it. Like I said, a lot of times they'll come up and they'll grab the back of the legs and won't catch the rest of it. So I usually use a trailer hook on that one. Trailer hooks suck in the brush. Yes, they do. There is no getting those out. And the grass, definitely. Oh, man. And Tackle Junkie, in case you missed it, you're going to have to go back and watch this later. I was going over the Googan crankbait. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with it, actually. And like I said, I did throw the Trashmaster jig around quite a bit. I didn't have any problems with it hanging up box and stuff. I didn't have any problems with that. But I didn't catch any fish on it, so I'm not going to say it's bad because I didn't catch fish at all anyway. So Tackle Junkie sounds like a great nickname for me. I usually don't use the trailer. I do have a little grub tail of the trailer on my spinnerbait, though. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm impressed with the action and everything. It's just not the depth on it. But that don't bother me too bad. I'm trying to think of what else I threw this weekend that would be good to let you guys know about. I will say the one thing that I did not do this weekend that I even preached to myself and I preached to everybody else, and I did not do it for whatever reason. I think mainly because I was hot and I was frustrated and I wasn't thinking straight. But the main thing I should have done has went down to almost an 1/8 ounce weight or even smaller and started throwing. Like I said, I was getting hit, but I think they were feeling the weight, and the water we were fishing was extremely clear. But I just didn't do it for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just one of them things you kind of have a brain fart every once in a while. And I did that day and it cost me quite a bit, but I guess you live and you learn sometimes. Yeah. The Trashmaster jig. Now, I was just curious. Like I said, I haven't hooked up on a fish with it yet, but how's the only thing that kind of had me question just a little bit with that screw lock on there? I didn't know how well that would work. Let's see. I'm just wanting to know when TJ81 is going to come south and fish with us on Kincaid. Yeah, no kidding, man. I've been waiting. Yeah, we'll set it up. I think we've tried to set that up like 3 or 4 times. We need to try again. Need to pick I guess a Friday or something. That way, or is it Friday you wanted to fish so you didn't have to get up early Saturday? I forgot which one it was, but we'll figure it out. Jacob, you may be waiting a while. That's a long trip to North Carolina to go fishing. But the bites that I have got landed. That's good. Yeah, like I said, it looks like a great jig. Like I said, I just haven't caught anything on it yet to figure it out yet. But Dalton Brewer, do the colors matter as much as a guy would think? How do you pick and choose what colors you use on what days? Sunny, cloudy, water clarity versus muddy. Just to keep it, let's keep it simple. If you've got, and I will tell you, Tackle Junkie on here is the one guy you want to talk to about muddy water. He fishes muddy water. But usually, typically, if you've got water that you can't see down in, that's muddy or dark or whatever like that, and it's just not very good clarity, you want to go with your really dark colors, your black and blues, your blacks, stuff like that. The clearer the water, the more natural color you want to go to. And that's really the simplest way you can put that. As far as like muddy waters like ponds and stuff like that, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll throw either the black and blues or the really dark colors like that, or if I'm using like a moving bait, something like that, a lot of times what I'll do too is I'll throw like a white. I know it doesn't sound like it makes a whole lot of sense, but usually, like I said, it's usually you want to stay with your dark colors in the muddy water, and then your clearer waters, you want to lean more towards your actual natural colors, like your green pumpkins, your bluegill colors, stuff like that, or depending on what type of bait fish you have in your water. Monday would be the best for me. I think we could probably make it happen on a Monday. But that just means that Aaron and I are probably going to have to go into work on Tuesday dragging butt then. But we'll do it just for you, Tackle Junkie. That's all right. It skips well. Yeah, where I was throwing it out, I didn't get a chance to skip it at all, but I'll definitely throw that in there. Like I said, there ain't nothing better than skipping a jig under a dock. Noah Smith, about to start putting the rods up. Deer season this weekend starts. Noah, we don't even want to hear about your deer season. We got more important things to do, like fish. And that's why I love fishing in the winter. I must have missed something there, Gabe. Don't do it, Noah. I might keep them out for a bit. Well, Noah, just remember, if you're going to put your rods up, you tell your dad to go ahead and put his up too, and don't be calling me on the weekends to go fishing anymore. Let's see. Come on, y'all. You can do it. 11 hours and 38 minutes. What are you talking about there, Jacob? I must have missed something there. Green pumpkin works good in muddy water too. Dye the pincher chartreuse. Yeah, orange. Yeah, that is a pretty good point, Gabe. That's one of them things I try not to tell too many people right off the bat with, just because they get confused with it sometimes. And I'm not saying they're dumb or anything like that. It's just I just try to keep it simple right off the bat. Then once they start digging into it and they start asking a little bit more about that stuff, that's when I start getting into that stuff a lot more. And Noah, now I don't believe that, because he went fishing with me last weekend and we had him out. Now I'm pretty sure I'll have to ask him. I don't remember the exact count, but I think he had one fish for the day. So you'll have to ask him and make sure I didn't lose my mind and lose count there. To come to me. Oh, Jacob. Oh, you mean for Tackle Junkie to make a trip over there? I got you. Well, Tackle Junkie, there you go. 11 hours and 38 minutes, and you can be at Jacob's house. Go fishing for the day. Oh, let's see here. He did. I told him you whooped him 7-1, I think. There you go. You just keep rubbing it into him. Do they get a W? That's what I want to ask. Do they get a W? That's all I want to ask. Jacob, who are you talking about? Who gets a W? And to get the W, like Tackle Junkie explained, you got to have, that's when you catch no fish. That's the W. Green pumpkin does work well, even though most blends of the watercolor I fish, but you get bit on the green pumpkin in the muddy water. It's an aggressive hit. That color sneaks up on them. Yeah, I would agree. A little bit muddy waters, that the peanut butter and jelly. I have a lot of really good luck with that. Some with that purple in there really sets them off. UPS or the Postal Service. Didn't get my NT box today. Like my email said, guess I have to wait until tomorrow. Well, that's not good, Doug. We got this Thursday and Saturday. What do we got? My box was awesome. Yeah, I seen your post today, Tackle Junkie, on your box that you got. That actually looked pretty good. I'm anxious to try that new Exoswim, that ribbon tail too. Friend that went fishing with you, you said only caught one fish, or if you were just losing count, I'm losing your mind. No, he didn't get the W, Jacob. He's to get the W. That means you're catching no fish. That's a Tackle Junkie and wadded fishing deal there. Of course, I think only one of them really gets the W most of the time. I won't mention any names though. All right. Did anyone make a Carl's order for the end of summer sale and receive an order yet? I did not, John. I seen the picture on Facebook and hyped up for it. Mr. Brian, what's going on, man? Exo ribbon looks killer. Can't wait for the 10-inch. Yeah, that's one bait I am looking forward to use. Like I said, I'm big into that the old monster worm and that plum, and that one for the Exo ribbon looked really, really good. I'm anxious to try that. And Sean's gonna start with the All-Star rods. I seen it before you got rid of it, Sean. Good to have you, man. Let's see here. This Michael Green. I seen him come in earlier. What's up, man? Yeah, we seen you try to play that off. Now, I'm assuming, have you fished with that one yet, Tackle Junkie? I know every once in a while you get some stuff before us sometimes, so. And I forgot to tell you guys, there was one other thing I was going to show you. So these are the shirts we had made up. Let's see them there. We did have, now I kind of listened to Tackle Junkie on this and didn't have a bunch produced to where we had to worry about, meeting the supply and demand, selling so many or whatever. I'll actually link down in my description for my video tomorrow. I'll put in there how many of each size I actually have. I only have a couple of the long sleeves ones. If you're interested in getting one of those, the only way I can think of doing it is under my About tab on my homepage on YouTube. You can go in there and there's a PayPal account in there with the link. But I'm going to sell the short sleeves for $25 and then the long sleeves for $30, just a flat 25 and 30. That just kind of gets the money back that I put into them, whatever. But if you guys want any, just let me know. Like I said, I've got a limited supply, and I'll put that in the description of the video going up tomorrow morning. So you guys let me know if you guys want any or not. Show it one more time. Was turning my tater tots. Turning the tater tots. There you go, Brian. And I will tell you, these are the performance, the dry fit. Let's see what does they say here. Or the cool dry, sorry. The dry fit, cool dry. They're real nice shirts. They got nice material. About the same thing. If any of you guys ordered Tackle Junkie shirts or wear of any of the the Huck shirts and stuff like that, it's the exact same material. So, all right, let's see. Mr. Doug, I have not. Today was the first time I've had it in hand. I got you. Thanks, dude. Thanks, everybody, about the shirts. Aaron says, extra large, please. All right, Aaron, just like I said, remember to go to my video tomorrow morning. Like I said, I'll have each individual sizes in there and how many I have of each one. Like I said, I didn't want to do a big run right off the bat and spend a ton of money because, they're not cheap to do. So I think I did 14 total. So one of them I'm definitely going to keep for myself. But I'll link down, like I said, in the description of how many I've got of each size in the short sleeve and then on the long sleeve too. So it's kind of first come, first serve. If I sell all these, I'll definitely get some more made though. see. GA1 got so much stuff. I didn't see how I can keep up with these fish with what he's fishing. Oh, no kidding, Sean. That dude's got a man cave down there just full of tackle. I don't know how he keeps it all straight either. Jason Beck says, I get my shirts made through Teesprings and there's no overhead. That's pretty cool. Like I said, I did these. It's a local buddy of mine. It's kind of helped me out here. So we'll see how it goes. Ryan, definitely, like I said, look at that one tomorrow, and I'll put it in the description. I'll have them all in there. Jacob, who are you talking about? How many different colors do you have? That's the only color I have, Jacob. I just did them all in that gray color. Like I said, I didn't want to spend a bunch of money and do a bunch of different ones and this and that. The logo worked on that color, and that's kind of what we stuck with right now. One thing he won't forget is the Akuma rods and the 72 square bills he owns. 72. That's like 72 of each color, I'm pretty sure. All right, let's see. Yeah, Sean, I think, Sean, that's a little bit closer, that 1072. What's up, BP Fishing? Yeah, definitely. Tackle Junkie, you can definitely take it. He's all right with that. Mr. Lane Carter, how's it going? Like I said, eventually we'll get together, and Tackle Junkie and I know Aaron got to get on here and water fishing. We're going to try to do a fishing day with the four of us. Hopefully that ought to be some pretty good footage, I would think. If nothing else, we'll have a bunch of footage of bloopers. It look like Bill Dance TV around there. Yeah, Jacob, it looked pinkish because of my camera. That's why. And I think the light reflecting off the laptop is doing that. I don't know if I can hold it back if it'll look any better. Does that look a little better? That still looks pretty pink. It's definitely not pink, though, I can tell you. It's I forgot what color they call that. Just some type of silver or gray. All right. David said, let's go hit that like button, crew. Definitely. Please. I would appreciate it. Sorry, Brian RC. You got to be able to take a few blows if you're a YouTuber. Yeah, that is no joke. I've had some guys that have commented on other things like my Instagram that I don't know where they came from, but they were not pleasant to deal with. Oh, I am doing good, Lane. Let's see, falling off cooler. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, you had to bring that up, didn't you? And I'm sure 10 Horse Monty's on here still laughing about it. I'm sure as soon as he read that, he likes to share that experience. You got to be able to, let's see. I'm looking forward to the free lunch. I know. I can't believe Aaron's going to buy it for us like that. That's awful nice of him and Mike. All right. You guys prefer a heavy salted bait than throw it a shaky head or more of a buoyant bait? I am definitely going more buoyant. When I'm throwing a shaky head, I want something sticking up. The plasma tail is a real good one for that I have found in the last month, thanks to Tackle Junkie. The other one is the Robo Worm that I really like, and the think of the name of the other one. Zoom had one out too that I really liked. I can't think of the name of it though. I'll have to look at that one. I don't remember what that one was. Let's see. All right, you guys digging the shirt. Thanks, Brian. Like I said, we'll put it in there to watch tomorrow's video. We'll put it in there. I'll have it in the description on how to order it and everything. We found out that TJ1's wife's nickname is Old Hook and Sinker. Do you have a nickname for your wife that you can say on YouTube? I don't know. Not really. I I can tell you my wife dishes it out quicker than I can give it to her most of the time. So back on, dang toddlers. I didn't have to mess with the tater tots. Nutbait worms on those shaky heads, perfect amount of tail up. Yeah, I haven't used too many of the net baits. I used some of the, I think it was the crawls they had out. I can't think of the name of it, but they had a crawl that actually stood up really well. I was pretty impressed with it. I used it a lot in creeks for smallmouth. It worked really, really good. Backyard, what are you catching them on recently? Recently, I've been, I'd say I'm doing a lot of frog fishing. Obviously, it's summer and everything. The other one has been mainly a swim bait, just a plain swim bait. I've used the Kitex, I've used the Rage swimmers. They've been in the green pumpkin colors. My pond here locally in my backyard, has been pretty dang clear, and most of the water around here has been pretty clear. I've caught a couple on square bills, not real aggressive yet. Like I said, when I throw a square bill, usually I really like it in the fall. That's one of my favorite times to throw those. But other than that, I've been catching a lot on jigs in Texas rig around stumps and logs and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, let me catch back up here. Whatever. Aaron, sorry, Tackle Junkie. Aaron don't think he's going to have to buy. I have to school them boys a little bit. We have a heat wave coming the next few days. Think that'll create a bite. BP, I don't know. We dropped down, a little bit, and then now it's right back. I have a feeling what's going to happen is I think that water is going to warm back up just a little bit, and I think it's going to push them back out to the deep again. I think they weren't quite moving up yet. They're not getting in that transition yet, but I do think they were starting to come out and start searching a little bit farther up on the bank. But I think with this heat wave and the humidity kicking up like it is, I think they're going to drop them right back down deep again. I mean, obviously, you're still going to have some of your shallow bass around, but Jacob was trying to type too fast. All right. The packer crawl, yes. I got to run, fellas. Great stream, man. Thanks, Tackle Junkie. We'll see you later. Well, it's okay. That's fine. I'll do it too. I'm just looking out for youngsters on here. Yeah, we don't usually. I didn't see what he had on there earlier, Jacob. And Brian, just to let you, I don't know what you said up there. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, we try to keep it pretty clean if you can, please. Anyone here anyone ever hear of Buck Perry, Don Dickinson? His son's got a pretty awesome channel with tons of tech teachings and fishing structure. No, I've never heard of him. I'll have to look him up, though, definitely. Thanks, Nor. Let's see you, TG81. Roger that. Okay. Are the heat waves going right? The heat waves going right now where I am. Yeah, Jacob, I'm pretty sure there's heat waves all over right now. Winter counter is going to be pretty good this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Hopefully get some good activity. Yeah, I would say, Greg, I mean, if I had any advice to give right now for fishing the heat, depending on what your water clarity is right now, I would definitely go with a jig. That's probably been my go-to bait that has produced the most. Like I did in my last video, I think it was the video before, I was talking about, the fish I was catching and how I patterned them. Was they were looking for something. They were only on one side of the stump, and they wanted something that was less action on it. So I think the fish were getting up in there, and they weren't wanting to chase anything or had to work real hard for it. And I think that's what was creating that bite, and it actually worked pretty good. So, if a jig's not working real good, try stepping down to like just a Texas rig. Stay with something like the Missile D-Bomb that doesn't have a whole lot of action. See if that works too. Oh, you're good, Brian, man. I just want to let you know. Like I said, I didn't even see what you said up there. I need to do more videos. I need to get a new GoPro, but need a new laptop first. I hear you, Jason. It's my laptop It was kind of a gimme deal, and it works for what I'm doing. Okay, but I can only load one video up, get it uploaded, and I've got to delete it right away, or I have no room to do anything. It's pretty slow. Tom Mikes, let's see. The shad are starting to move shallow already, and the 2 lakes I've been fishing last week. I'm guessing you were probably up north, Tom. It's good to have you in here, though. Thanks, man. Do you think the heat wave or muddy the water? Do you anything with humidity up? Jacob, the heat wave won't have anything to do with muddying the water up. It may start to produce like a little bit of a green algae on top of it. A lot of times what happens, but jig, jig, jig. Yep, exactly. Yep, that's why I said jig and Texas rig. They've been probably the biggest go-to baits, or the biggest baits that I've had producing well in the last. Slim Shady, my biggest bass of the year is 725. I caught that back in March. I wish she would have been up feeding a little bit earlier to have a little belly on her, but she probably would have went over 8 pretty easy, but she was pretty long and skinny. And there is my wife, speaking of her. So if you guys want to ask her what nickname she likes, you can have at it. Same time I caught my PB. Jacob, what was your PB? Actually, what is everybody's PB in here? I'm kind of curious to know. We've got a couple guys in here from Indiana, a couple guys, or one guy from Oklahoma, some northern guys in here. Front yard bass. There you go, Sean. Let's see. Nope. GC local. What's his nickname? She can't put that on here. She cannot put that on here. We've got a language going on here. We can't be saying that. 496. That's pretty decent. Well, I caught mine the other day at 6 pounds. Man, that's pretty good for up north, man. I'm guessing that's a largemouth, right? Slim Shady says 9 pound, 1 ounce. Man, that's a hog there. Tin Horse says 2.6. Yeah, whatever, dude. I know better than that. I've seen you pull a lot bigger ones out. Illinois 4 pound largemouth. Keep matching it up. Can't break it. Man, that's rough. I kind of did that with about a 6 pounder for a couple of years there. John's 4.7. Like I said, I know he's up north. That's a pretty good fish up there. PB so far is around 3.5 or under 4 pounds. Like I said, it's not bad. Those aren't bad fish by any means. Hank Snow says 8.5. Stanley Rivet with a belly weighted hook. There you go. I tell you what, I used to throw the what do you call it? The man's jelly worm on about a 7/0 weighted hook, and I had pretty good luck with that thing actually. But the other issue I had with it was constantly laying on its side, and I didn't care for that too much. Got that in a pond in Florida. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm seeing hogs all the time ripped out of Florida down there. It's unreal. 5 pound jigging pig. There you go. Was that the old Joshua's jigging pig? I know that bait was around for a long time. That little nasty blue bottle. Ooh. Aaron Wetzel, the 9.8. Holy cow. The first 5 is getting mounted. There you go. Chris says he's unfortunately a 5.18 is my PB. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Tom says my PB is 8 pounds, 13 ounces. That's a fatty there. And there goes my wife. I think I'm going to have to boot her off here. Caught her on a 130 whopper plopper and the loon. Brian, that is probably my favorite Whopper Plopper color. We were actually talking about that. I think it was when we did the live stream with 10 Horse Monty. No double digit yet. Man, I'd be happy with an 8, Aaron. Double digit, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I'd probably pass out before it got to the boat. So you hope to change that on my vacation at the end of the month. Where are you headed to? Brian's in South Georgia. I've been to Georgia once. Down to Atlanta to watch a Rolling Stones concert. It was nice to catch that since I'm from Ontario. Holy cow, dude. Yeah, you don't. Well, I guess you get bigger fish up there, but they're not usually the largemouth. Of course, you got some pretty good smallmouth up there, I'm sure. One lost dude says PB is 513. Friend caught 11.5. Oh, man. I keep seeing these guys posting these pictures of these big bass, and I'm just like, holy cow. I'm jealous, man. Absolutely jealous. Let's see, Florida PB is 10.5. Indian PB is 7.25. Well, at least you got on a 10 pounder, man. Like I said, I haven't hit over that 7.25 yet. I'm going there sometime this 4-hour drive south of Atlanta. Live closer to the Florida state line. I got you, dude. I'm trying to think. We went to Florida a few years ago. It wasn't for fishing though. We went down on vacation. Went down to Destin. Trying to think if I don't remember if we went through Florida or I went through Georgia going down there. Jay Basson, 11.2 in Texas, 15 years ago. Man, that's a stud there. Holy cow. Let's see, California Delta stripers should be start running in a couple weeks. I tell you what, man, I see them guys do that striper fishing up there on the Delta. That is insane, some of the fish they pull out of there. You're talking 30, 40-pound fish. Holy cow. Now, I'm sure that they've got to be wore out after fighting them things for, 20, 30 minutes. Brookville Lake. Some good bass fishing there, and I caught some of my better bass there. Brookville Lake. You throwing jigs on ledges right now? Greg, if I had some ledges to fish right now, that is probably what I'd be throwing, that in a spoon. Like I said, a lot of my lakes around here, we don't really have any ledges. That's what kind of sucks. But I do live it takes me about probably 2 hours, 2 hours and 15 minutes to get to Kentucky Dam. I really just need to take a trip down there and go ledge fishing. But from what I understand, they haven't been catching them on the ledges down there with all those carp still kind of aggravating all that. Let's see. Do you want me to send the picture of it and show it? Jacob, actually, I think you sent me that picture, but I can't put it on the live stream, though. Jason Beck, I have 2 private ponds in Leesburg, Florida that my aunt has a house, and I will try when I go visit. Oh, man. I'm sure you'll be happy to go fish them once you get down there if you're used to fishing up in Jersey. You might not come back home, though. Almost. I hope I find out soon. Yeah, I hope you do too, man. That's like I said, I think that'd be neat. We got stripers out here, and they don't. I haven't seen any that big, but when them things school up, I mean, you're talking they're probably 3 to 5 pounds each, and they're just huge schools, and you can have a lot of fun with those. But I couldn't imagine catching one of them big ones though. That'd be a lot of fun. Sean Murphy says, "Here's a question: what was the bait your guys' PBs caught on?" Mine was on a jig. That's actually a really good question. Mine was on, believe it or not, it was the Guggen's Bandito bug. It was shortly after they come out. I had tried it. It was in I think the Okeechobee color. And yeah, that bass slammed that bait. So white skirt spinner bait, Aaron's. One lost dude, Tequila Sunrise, Berkeley Power Worm. Dude, that's one of them. I use the old monster Tequila Sunrise. I love that worm. That is an awesome worm. I've got one rock quarry lake in my area. with some decent water and good underwater structure. It's a small lake. I do not have electronics. I just use my bathymetric map on the Fishbrain to see. Hey, nothing wrong with that. If you, Greg, if you know a guy that has a boat that can get on there that has one of the Lowrance units, that's what I have. I have the Elite TI. They can actually do the mapping for you. And what you can do is they can just go around it like one time and map it and save it and upload it to Insight Genesis maps. And then you can just pull that up on your phone anytime you want and look at that map. It's pretty neat. If you want to know more about it, just message me later. I'll explain it. Ship on my channel. David, best bass chat going today. Everyone needs to spread the word. Best every Monday. David, absolutely. And thank you, man. Thanks, Snore Outdoors. Jason Beck Fishing, Leesburg isn't far from me. Hope you do well. Let's see. Models own. I'm not sure what that means, Jacob. And mine was caught on the same day that my wife said yes to our first date. Well, look at you, lucky guy. Lucky twice in one day. Yeah, I used to live and tell her to fish that Harris chain thing. Let's see, one last thing. Get a bait that will get under the small ones. That's where the big stripers hide. A big get under the. Oh, a bait that will get under the small ones. I got you. Yeah, that was the problem out there with my lake. Is man, once you got through that thing, them schools were so big, and they were most of the time out there. They always go up into the shallow flats. That's where they school up a lot. They just kind of hang out up there all day long, just swimming back and forth. I've never caught them out in the deeper water around, but I haven't seen them yet. My Florida PB was 15 years ago on a red shad Berkeley power worm. Indiana PB was on a Strike King bluegill swim jig with a double tail grub. That's pretty cool. I tell you what, it's hard to beat a swim jig bite, man. Sometimes they just hammer the heck out of that thing. Jason Beck says his was on a bone-colored Sexy Dog Junior. Yep, that's one of my favorite baits right there. That one, and I like the iridescent, the clear one there. I really like that one and the bigger size. I'm not big on the small Sexy Dog Juniors though. BB Fishing says rattle traps, red crawdad, and then a floating green and brown rattle trap. There you go. Slim Shady says, got to go. Have a good one. Slim Shady, thanks for tuning in, man. We'll see you again next time. My personal best was local Illinois on a 10-inch worm. My biggest tournament was a 6-pound, 4-ounce at Crab Orchard Lake. Tom, I will tell you right now, I am not a fan of Crab Orchard Lake. That lake kicks my butt every time I go there. I always catch fish, but it just never keepers. I have a hard time over there for some reason. My PV was caught on a Megabass Pop Max. There you go. Thanks, Nordic Beck Fishing. Okay. Just shared on Twitter. BP, I appreciate it. They nail a vibrating jig hard as well. Yeah, I'm sure they do. And I don't know if you were on earlier, Hank, when I was talking about the vibrating jigs. I have nothing against those things. Just not one bait that I just throw a whole heck of a lot. I do throw them, just not a whole bunch. My two biggest bass on the chatterbaits was on the Z-Man, a black and blue with the ribbon worm trailer. The other one was on a Picasso shock blade bluegill color with a Biospawn plasma tail. I have to say, Doug, that plasma tail on the back of those is awesome. Tackle Junkie turned me on to that. I actually started using it on my swim jig too. I really like it. Jason Beck, Hanks. No, okay. Let me go. I know I have it on Fishbrain. I still don't know what you're talking about there, Jacob. So, all right, guys. Well, we've been on here. Let's see, hour and 20 minutes. I still haven't eaten supper yet, so I better get up there and do that. Like I said, guys, tune in to tomorrow's video. It'll upload tomorrow morning, and I'll explain if you guys want a shirt or are interested in getting a shirt. I'll explain everything on there. Like I said, I got a PayPal account on my main page in there. If you go into the About tab, it'll have my link in there to my PayPal. Like I said, the short sleeve are going to be $25 and the long sleeve are going to be $30. Like I said, I've only got about 13 shirts total, and I'll post on there how many I have of each size in the long sleeve and the short sleeve, and we'll go from there. If I sell all of them out, no big deal. I'll get some more. But I appreciate all you guys' support and everything. If you can, just like I said, please share my videos and everything. Trying to get the channel grown. Try to get up there. I probably won't reach Tackle Junkies numbers, but I definitely like to grow the channel a little bit more. So let's see. Time for supper here. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. I appreciate it, man. Fish brain. You got 40 on work. Great video, bro. Go ahead, dude. I guess. So, like I said, guys, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on next Monday. Thanks.